This is part 2, in which we will learn about service and repair of grinder.
Switch on the grinder and check for its functioning. Isolate the grinder from the supply. Open the inspection cover. Note the nameplate details in the table. Conduct visual inspection for supply code, for good condition of switches, for proper mounting of motor and drive alignment. Check the power code for continuity and short circuit testing either by using a multimeter or a test lamp. Conduct an insulation test of the motor and record in table. If the insulation value is above 1 mega ohm, switch on the grinder and observe its function. If the insulation resistance is less than 0.5 mega ohm, improve the insulation value by heating or varnishing. Clean thoroughly the motor and the bearing of the grinder. Lubricate the bearing as recommended by the manufacturer before assembly. After adjusting belt tension, assemble the motor and tighten the terminal screws, pulley screws, flywheel nuts, motor fixing bolts, etc. Connect the motor to the supply and start the grinder. Observe the working of the motor and the grinder for smooth running. Repairing of grinder. Listen to the complaints of the customer or user, which may be: grinder is not working, fails to start but runs in either direction when started manually, starts but heats up rapidly, reduction in speed and motor gets too hot, grinder is noisy, grinder gives a shock. If grinder is not working, check whether there is an open connection in the line. If found, rectify it. Check for any open circuit in motor winding, starting and running winding. Send it for repairs if it is an open circuit. Before removing the capacitor from the motor terminals, make note of the connection and discharge the capacitor using a screwdriver. Note: care should be taken while discharging. Touch only the head of the screwdriver. Set the digital multimeter in resistance mode. Place the probes across the terminals and look at the display. If the meter readings show some low resistance and gradually increase to high resistance, then the capacitor is good. If the multimeter shows the same or no reading, then the capacitor is defective. Replace it. Identifying the motor windings. Place the test lamp between the terminals of both windings and check for continuity. If there is no continuity, replace the winding. Set the multimeter in resistance mode at low range. Place it across both windings and note down the readings in the tabulation. The winding that has low resistance is main winding and the winding with high resistance is the auxiliary winding. Ensure the capacitor is connected in series with auxiliary winding. Check tightness of the belt. Adjust the belt for proper tension as recommended by manufacturer. Check whether it is due to tight bearings. Test by turning the shaft by hand. If lubrication does not help, the bearing must be replaced. Check the contact of centrifugal switch. If the contact of centrifugal switch is not closed, repair it or replace. If reduction in speed and motor gets too hot, check the windings for its short circuiting and grounding. Check the bearing to know whether it is sticky. Repair or replace if found defective. If grinder is noisy, check for worn out bearings. Replace the bearings and inspect the shaft for scoring. Check the end play. Add additional washers if the play is too much. Check the loose parts like loose hold down bolts, loose fan, pulley, etc. Tighten them. Check whether there is misalignment. Align the pulleys correctly. Check the belt. Replace if it is worn out. Check the shaft of the motor. If bent found, replace or send the motor for repair. If grinder gives shock, open the inspection cover and check for any line contact with the metallic body. Also, ensure earthing is proper. Rectify the contact, if any, and insulate them properly.
I hope that after watching this video, you will be able to dismantle, identify parts, replace faulty parts and reassemble the mixer grinder. Dismantle, identify parts, replace faulty parts and reassemble the wet grinder. This concludes the exercise on service and repair of mixer and grinder. Thank you. See you in the next exercise.